Thank you very much, and warm greetings to everyone. On behalf of the Regional Director of the DepDev Mimaropa, Dr. Agustin C. Mendoza, we've been invited and primarily given the task to walk you through the presentation on the required data fields for the Regional Project Monitoring and Evaluation System, or RPMES forms. Pero ngayon pa lang po, just a bit of a disclaimer, no? I would like to inform everyone that this is largely applicable talaga sa atin pong mga regional at provincial level, which in your case, sa inyo pong provincial PMC present today. Kasi po, at the regional level, pursuant to the 2023 RPMS operational guidelines, the entities that directly submit reports to the RPMC are the regional line agencies, state universities and colleges, government-owned controlled corporations, among others, and only include the five provincial governments of the Mimaropa, which is the Oriental Mindoro, Occidental Mindoro, Romblon, Palawan, and Marinduque. So doon po kasi may direct and immediate supervision and coordination ang rehiyon po, ang Mimaropa region. So for the city and municipal LGUs naman, level naman, most of you here are from the municipalities. Um, only two government offices are currently required po sa akin directly to submit periodic reports sa region, namely the capital cities of Calapan and the Puerto Princesa City. So while the rest of the municipal LGUs, kayo nga po across the region, ideally, uh, you should submit reports to the respective or the respective provincial governments exercising direct and immediate supervision and coordination over you, no? Assuming na fully activated na po yung mga monitoring systems and mechanism sa mga levels po ninyo. On another note, I also heard that there is this system called Subaybayan system of the DILG, where the municipalities, the LGUs, comply for reporting, data collection, and desk monitoring of your programs, projects, and activities. And nonetheless, we will proceed with this presentation as requested, as this essentially serve as a useful reference or refresher pa rin naman po for any project monitoring entities kagaya po nating lahat dito. Right? So this will help us provide clearer understanding of the required data fields, particularly in facilitating regular project monitoring and data collection, which you may also adapt within your respective jurisdictions if wala pa pong talagang fully enforced. So this is also consistent with the mentioned operational guidelines, specifically the integration of program and project management information system, which encourage all the project monitoring committees, including po kayo, mga sub-regional PMCs at provincial and municipal LGU levels, to develop your own management information systems kagaya nga po nitong RPMES. So this kind of system kasi really support the collection of data from project implementors, automated analysis, and the generation of reports for submission to higher PMCs. In our case, region sa national level po. Kayo naman pong provincial sa region at yung pong municipal sa provincial. Alright? Now, to make the discussion more accessible, we'll just try to simplify the concept so that by the end of this session, we will have a clearer and more practical understanding of the fundamentals. Okay? And to begin with, here's our presentation outline. Primordially, we'll focus on the substance of the information or the input forms 1 to 4. So, apat po, no? To revisit basic concepts and principles behind said forms as well as its actual required data fields, ensuring we're aligned with the fundamentals. And last on the list, the summary of RPMES forms comprising both the input and the output forms of the implementing entities and the regional and national PMCs. Okay? Um, Let's now proceed with the first one, the RPMES Input Form 1, which is the initial project report. So this report is used to record the basic information on program or project. Kasama po dito yung mga official development assistance at in your case, mga locally funded projects that are being implemented by the agencies, yung mga na-mention po nating recitals kanina, GOCCs, SUCs, LGUs in your case, no? So it shall contain information such as the name of the project, component details, fund source, mode of implementation, total program or project costs, location, implementation schedule, overall physical and financial targets for the year, and of course, mahalaga din yung by month, output indicators and corresponding monthly targets, employment generated by the project, disaggregated po yan by sex or by male or female. So medyo marami pero we will elaborate these components later. So this report shall be accomplished by the implementing agency units, you see SUCs, GOCCs, RLAs, kayo po, LGUs, at mga sub-project monitoring committees. Okay? So this is the actual form in accordance with the 2023 RPMS operational guidelines. So I'll just leave you this to visit and use as your reference or guidance when familiarizing with the actual components of the form. But for the sake of optimizing the system, I'll just show you the version of the integrated forms in the online system proper. Okay. So here it is, the Form 1 initial project report in the system. So basically, we have six fields or components here. Let's discuss one by one. The first one is the program or project title. So this is the title of the program or project na makikita po natin doon sa approved program of work. So yung POW, for example. And pwede ding makita siya sa loan kung siya ay loan and or it's a grant agreement. Next is yung ating pong output indicators na napakahalagang component din sa ating um, physical aspect ng isang proyekto, ng isang programa. We indicate here the unit of the major output indicators. Ang maximum po natin dito is 5, no? Where accomplishment is to be measured as indicated in the program or project documents, example, kilometers, hectares, beneficiaries, houses, or length. So measurable po ito, no? For programs or projects with more than 5 available output indicators, there are instances po kasi na nag-exceed sa 5, we can do selection of major output indicators to be listed in the form based on the following criteria. So meron lang naman po tayong dalawang criteria, yung degree of relevance niya and or yung contribution ng project or program sa objectives ng proyektong yon o kung gaano ba siyang ka-relevant. So, yung prioritization natin ay nakabase doon. At pangalawa, yung share nung total project program costs. Kung ganong substantial, ka-significant yung amount nun, no? And an output indicator uh, specifies the key tangible goods and services the organization or intervention will deliver. So they define the project management terms of accountability that have to be achieved by the end of the intervention period. So later, we will be having separate broaden discussion on this in relation to the input form 2 as these are crucial metrics kagaya nga ng sabi ko pagdating po sa physical accomplishment or aspect of the projects. So we now move on to the total financial targets. The financial targets is the amount programmed for implementation of the program or project with corresponding monthly targets for the year. So basically, ito yung target natin and this should be indicated in exact PHP figures, amounts sa system. Next is the physical target, yung counterpart naman po niya sa physical aspect, yung physical target in percentage naman po ito. So this is the monthly overall physical target of the program or project for the year in percentage. Next, the target employment generated or EG. So this is the target female or male employment to be generated by the program or project expressed in number of persons. We also keep track of the employment numbers or data, no, as we are also focusing kung ilan yung na-generate na trabaho ng mga proyekto po natin. Okay? And next is the remarks, specifically remarks po ng agency o nung implementer. So the implementer provide here information on the previously approved dates if applicable. There are certain instances po kasi or cases na nagkakaroon ng change in schedule, change specifically in completion dates because of, for example, sa infrastructure projects, variation orders. So nababago po or na-adjust or na-extend yung deadline or yung completion date. So, As a matter of information, we also need to indicate the previously approved end dates para makita po natin yung mga changes, mga adjustment, differences ng mga dates natin as well as yung mga margins po, ano? So we may also include here information ng program project beneficiaries. Yun nga, disaggregated din by sex kung available. So this is still in relation to input form 1, uh, but entirely for all of the input forms 1 to 4, we advise our implementing agencies to ensure that the projects listed in the current quarters forms, yan nga, 2, 3, and 4 ay kapareho or they match to those of the previous quarters and from all the projects declared sa Form 1. Form 1 po kasi parang pinaka-database ng lahat ng project. So this means na lahat po ng ide-declare ng mga implementing entity at the beginning of the year sa Form 1, sa initial project report, are required din na i-declare nila every quarter until the last quarter of the reporting year. Okay, so from first to fourth quarter. And even completed na yung isang proyekto, for example, it must still be reported for year-round monitoring purposes. So using the view button, yung pong mga violet buttons, makikita din naman po nung ating mga implementing agency yung each quarter submission to check if all the projects declared from the previous quarters are also declared cross quarters up until the end. Mahalaga po yung ito po kaya nga po tayo nagbo-monitor. Tinitingnan natin periodically kung ano na, kumusta na. So we declare it quarterly. Ganun po ang ginagawa ng entities. Right. So we're done with the first input form. We proceed now sa input form 2. This is about the physical and financial accomplishment report. Ito na po yung, I believe this is the most important form dahil nandito na po talaga yung body or yung content substance ng how a project is performing, kamusta ng status of implementation ng mga proyekto. Yung dalawang aspeto niya, yung physical at saka yung financial status. Tingnan natin yung mga accomplishment on that. So this report will use to document status of maari po siyang ongoing program or projects. Gaya nga po yung sabi ko, kasama din po dito yung mga ODA and locally funded projects that are being implemented by agencies, GOCCs, LGUs, kayo po. So it shall contain the following information. Dalawa, major components natin, physical and financial. Sa physical, this is the actual progress of the programs or projects against the target or scheduled accomplishments. Kung ano yung kinumit po natin as part of our plan, and kasama nga rin po yun sa mga comprehensive development plan natin, regional development plan, kung tugma ba yung mga plano natin at kinumit natin doon sa mga magiging accomplish natin. Included po dito yung information sa employment generated, initial observable results, problems encountered, and measures taken or to be taken in order to address such issues. So, maaaring may mga interventions din included po dito sa physical. Doon naman sa pangalawa, yung financial, it accounts for the appropriation, for allotment, for obligations, and disbursements. So, itong apat na to, we will put this into detail mamaya, no? So, the financial report shall also account for the reasons behind low disbursements if applicable. So, yung disbursement kung bakit yung releases or yung payment ay kaunti. Kasi sa typology, it also affects the performance of the one providing the service provider natin or yung mga contractor. Okay? So again, this is the traditionally this is the form that we used before nung wala pa pong system. So yan yung mga component niya, but this is already integrated here dito po sa system natin. So this is the interface for the input form to physical and financial accomplishment report. So for this form naman po, we have 10 fields, no? Or components. So we'll skip na po itong dalawang naunang fields as these are the same to what we have just discussed from the previous form, yung pong same definition lang naman ng project title tsaka yung output indicators. So we now deal on the financial components proper. Unang-una na yung appropriations. So itong appropriations, this is an authorization pursuant to laws or legislative enactment, hence required po ng congressional action. So ngayon pa lang sabihin ko na ito yung GAA. But later, i-detalyan natin kung ano ito, no? Directing po ito yung mga spending of public funds for a specific purpose. Dapat specific purpose up to specified amount under a specified condition as defined by the DBM. So, sa pag-declare po natin ng mga data sa ating po mga financial components, lagi naman na po siyang categorized into two. Either siya ay programs or projects. Kung siya po ay programa, this is the total appropriation for the current fiscal year in exact. Tandaan po natin, across financial components, exact PHP figures na po ang ilalagay natin lagi. So, pwedeng nasa net of adjustments, transfer to other agencies, reversions to national treasury. So, dito po natin ilalagay total appropriation po siya. Pag naman project siya, yun yung total cumulative appropriation. Ganun lang po yung difference niya. Cumulative lang po yun sa project. So, ibig sabihin yung pinagsama-sama na from the start of the project to the end of the reporting period. Ganun din po in exact PHP figures. Okay? So, that's appropriation basically. Next is allotment. This is the authorization issued to an agency permitting that agency to commit or incur obligation and or pay out funds within a specified period of time within the amount specified. So may allotment na, mas specific na po ito. Nasa agency level na to, I believe, no? So, for programs, ganun din naman po, yung total allotment nga lang. Pag sa projects naman, cumulative po ang lagi natin tatandaan dito, yung pinagsama-sama na simulat sa poll, no? So, total cumulative allotment. Now, for obligations, yung pangatlo, this is a commitment by a government agency arising from an act of a duly authorized official which binds the government to the uh, immediate or eventual payment of sum of money. Hindi pa po ngayon, pero there is already an obligation. Basically, meron na pong kontrata. At meron na ring specific contractor dito. So, sa program, total obligation, ganun lang din. Pag project, again, the keyword is cumulative, total cumulative obligation from the start of the project to the end of the reporting period. Again, bear in mind, exact PHP figures lahat po. And lastly, sa ating pong financial ay yung disbursements. Ito naman na po yung settlement, liquidation, or in easy term, payment na po ito of obligation incurred in the current or prior years involving cash, or it may also be a non-cash transactions covered by the disbursement authorities. So for programs, total disbursement. So ito lang po yung pagbabayad, no? So total disbursements for programs, again, cumulative, total cumulative disbursement for projects. So we'll be more specific in the coming slides for these four financial components for us to better appreciate it and absorb these components kasi importante po talaga ito sa atin pong financial aspect. But now we proceed muna sa ating target overall weighted physical accomplishment OPA to date in percentage. So mamaya detalya din natin ito. At yung counterpart niyang actual OPA to date in percentage. Mamaya na lang din ito. Okay? So, slippage in percentage na lang muna. So, very important ito kasi ito na yung indicator natin or metrics natin para malaman kung kamusta na or ano na talaga ang status ng project natin physically, no? So, we look at the difference here sa slippage. We look at the difference between the actual accomplishments to date and target accomplishment. Yung pinagbabangga na po natin yung actual against target as of the reporting period. So result here may be positive, which means the project is ahead of schedule, negative, which means behind schedule, or just zero or on schedule. Okay. So for remarks naman, this is additional supporting information on the reported physical and financial accomplishment of the project, such as but not limited to the following. So may mga enumeration po dito, no, yung pwede nating indicate sa agency remarks. Accomplishments such as number of projects, components, major output completed. May mga components din po kasi ang bawat project. So we can indicate here sa remarks. List of major works that are ongoing, suspended, or terminated. We also specify including whether the project is suspended or ayun na nga, terminated, reiteration lang. Next is the reasons for physical and financial performance. Mga rason kung bakit ganun ang how the project, why the project is performing on that sa ganun pong aspeto, sa ganung level. Actions to be taken relative to the status of the accomplishments. Example, for site inspection to be subjected to PSS o yun nga pong tinatawag nating problem solving session. Next is previous approved end dates. If applicable, as mentioned a while ago, there might be adjustments in completion or end dates because of variation orders. So we specify then historically kung ano yung mga previous approved dates. Limitations in the reporting information required in the form. So example, number of available disaggregation of employment generated by sex kung meron. And lastly, information on the program or project beneficiaries disaggregated by sex. Ayun na nga yan. Okay? So we will just highlight no yung as mentioned a while ago yung financial accomplishment components natin apat. So for demonstration purposes, those in color blue po represents the steps, while the red ones are descriptive labels of the components. So for the procedural aspect, so ganun lang, we will just click yung form 2, step 1, step 2. We can click yung project. For example, na nilagay po natin ditong like for sample purposes lang, yung Bulalakaw Port Expansion Project. Clickable naman po yan. We click it. Then may lalabas na box in which we will be required to provide the necessary details sa mga apat na input text boxes. So ito yung appropriations, allotment, obligations, and disbursement. So we'll be more specific dito na po sa mga financial accomplishments natin na to kasi mga figures na po yung mga ilalagay natin dito para mas maintindihan po natin. Sa appropriation, na-mention ko na rin naman kanina, this is the amount in General Appropriations Act o yung GAA. So may yung nga yung po mention ko na congressional act siya na siya po ay enacted ng ating Congress. Ideally, bigger than po ito sa allotment. But it's fine, minsan maging equal na lang din siya if in the planning stage, there is consideration to maximize yung appropriated amount. But take note po, never smaller than allotment siya. Okay? Kasi po ito yung pinagbumulan ng allotment natin, yung appropriation, yung parang pinaka dito na po yung markup niya, yung kanyang allowance. And then for allotment, basically this is the ABC na po dun po sa ating mga ginagawa no sa procurement entities po natin, yung approved budget for the contract or ABC. And this should not be less than or this should be less than or equal to the appropriation but never higher than appropriations. Next is yung obligation. So, eto na po yung mas specific pa dun sa AB, out of our ABC, ano na po yung specific amount. I think dito na yung may offered na and accepted by the government entity as party to the contract. Kasi may kontrata na, there is already a service provider or may contractor na, may offer and accepted na yung offer. Kaya specific na yung amount. So here, mas maliit din yung amount or pwede din naman siyang equal kung minaximize nung bidder yung kanyang offered amount but never higher than allotment. Kasi it would be, of course, subject to disqualification to the bidding. Okay? Hindi siya mananalo. Now, for the disbursement naman, ito na yung last stage wherein we settle the obligation. Basically, nagbabayad na po, payment of obligation. Ito naman, ganun din, less than or equal to obligation but never higher than the obligations. So, as you can see, lagi lang mas maliit yung mga nasa right niya dun sa mga nasa left nila. Laging ganun lang po yung pagkaka-arrange niya dun sa system. So, that's the appropriations, allotment, obligations, and disbursements of the financial components of the RBMES. Okay, yun namang dalawa kanina, no? Yung OPA, yung Overall Weighted Physical Accomplishment, or OPA, both yung target at saka yung ating actual to date. Note po na kailangan i-ensure kasi na lagi namin ina-advise na i-ensure na both target and actual values are always declared. So the actual OPA may exceed the target OPA only if the target is below 100%, as the ceiling or the maximum allowable value for the actual OPA kasi in the system, this is for monetary context, is 100% lang para mas madali din po siyang at yun din naman po yung accurate na matrack natin. So for physical accomplishments in color red, no? The target OPA to date in percent is the work scheduled to be accomplish from start of the project implementation up to the reporting period. Kung reporting period ngayon ay third quarter for example, so yung schedule to be accomplished simula nung first quarter hanggang ngayong third quarter. So we may refer po to the Appendix D for the computation, manual computation of the OPA na dun po sa Appendix D ng ating operational guidelines. However, dun po sa ating system I think this is ano naman na po, auto-generated na po siya ng system. Okay? For the actual OPA to date in percent naman, actual work accomplished from start of implementation up to the reporting period in percentage. So, ganun lang din po. Actual nga lang yung mini-measure natin dito. Okay, so for Form 2, there are other last two fields that were mentioned kanina sa Form 1. Yung pong output indicators or OI at yung employment generated. And as mentioned, we'll further elaborate on this. Unahin na natin yung output indicators or OI. Again, sa procedural aspect, i-click lang natin yung forms, RPMS Form 2 tab. This time, i-click naman natin yung button na may nakalagay na 1 OI. Clickable po yan and may lalabas in which we will be providing the pertinent details dun po sa mga input boxes na apat, no? Primarily, yung major dito yung tatlong output boxes related to the dates. So, OIs for the physical accomplishments, ito na, no? OI should be measurable. Example ko nga kanina, yung kilometers, hectares, beneficiaries, houses, percentage, or number or length of the project, halimbawa road. So, we also bear in mind po yung SMART principle. I know some of you are already familiar with this pagdating sa mga project natin na SMART stands for specific. Kailangan po siya specific, kaya nilalagay natin yung mga specific measurement, no? Which leads to our next one, next letter M, measurable. Next is attainable, uh, realistic, makatotohanan, and time-bound na isa din sa mahalagang aspeto for these three components, no? Dahil may specific dates tayong nilalagay. Isa-isahin natin yung end of project target. So this is the target quantity to be accomplished by the end of project as agreed between the implementing agency and the funding agency kung meron, no? Yung pangalawa naman, the target to date, this is the target accomplishment as of the reporting quarter. For example nga ay third quarter, which are expressed in units of respective output indicators. Example, percentage, number, or length. And lastly, yun naman pong actual to date. Actual accomplishment as of the reporting quarter, which are expressed in units of respective output indicators. So those are the three components in which we will be deducing our output indicators. Yung mga dates na yan, tsaka yung mga quantity na i-specify natin dyan. Again, SMART principle should be specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bound. For the employment-generated inputs, sa procedural niya, ganun lang din. Click yung Form 2 tab, yung project na clickable, Bulalakaw Port Expansion Project. We provide the necessary details dun sa two input text boxes for male and female. We always advise our implementing agencies, no, not to leave the employment generated for male and female as blank. At least declare po tayo ng zero. Yun yung lagi namin sinasabi sa kanila, zero value. If for example, there are really no workforce required or generated for a particular program on a specific sex. If there are really limitations in the reporting information required in the form, we encourage them to at least reflect them do sa ating pong remarks text back. Example nga yon, no available disaggregation of employment generated by sex. In some cases kasi, if the entry pertains to a program, minsan po ito, no, pinapayagan na po, ina-accept or it is acceptable that there is no employment generated. But be strict po pagdating sa mga projects. Okay, it's a wrap for the form number 2. We now move on sa ating pong RPMES Input Form 3, which is about Project Exception Report. So this form is used when implementation problems are encountered, especially when immediate action by the project monitoring committees or the development council is needed na, or when project implementation has been outstanding. So may major parts po tayo dito. Una yung issues. These are the problems encountered that affects or contribute to the delays in the project implementation. Kung bakit ganun ang nagpa-perform isang project kasi basically it's a problem, no? So the second one is the best practice. So we also take into account yung mga factors that affect or contribute to the outstanding performance and achievement of the project outcomes and impact. So ang responsible entity dito yung mga agencies nga po natin, unit, GOCCs, LGUs, PMCs, SUCs, at kayo po among others. So this is the form again for information. Again, we skip this form, and then this is the interface of the system for Form 3, Project Exception Report. So we have 8 field components here. Again, we skip program project title, sleepage. We have defined this also. So we now begin with the findings. Okay, the findings, this is the description of an issue. Operational constraints, pwedeng concerns observed during project implementation. Maaari din naman po siyang outstanding performance of a project. Take note here that in the system only allow one finding per row. Okay, we proceed with the typology. So for the typology, for each finding, we can just choose sa drop-down. Meron naman pong available dyan from the following. Applicable po ito sa both issue and best practice. So ito po yung mga sumusunod, no? For typology, site condition availability, pwedeng rason yan. Procurement, pwede. Government funding institution approvals, budget and funds flow, design, scope, technical specifications, performance of contractors, consultants, capacity of project management unit and other implementing partners, kunwari ay under staff, no? Institutional support as well, that's a factor. Inputs and costs, legal and policy issuances. There are changes in structure because of legal new amendments, for example. Sustainability, operations, and maintenance. Also, we take into account sa typology yung force majeure. Pwede din kasing there are some unforeseen circumstances na beyond the control of a man, no? And other issues, concerns, aspects of the project implementation which do not fall under any of the category I cited. Okay? So next is the issue status. Here, we indicate whether the issue is current or resolved. Kung siya po ay subsisting pa yung issue, nandoon pa siya, or na-resolutionan na solusyonan na yung problema as of the end of the reporting period. Next is the reasons. We indicate here the events, incidents, among others, that have caused the problems or factors, practice, or strategies that contributed to the outstanding performance or facilitated smooth implementation. So basically, yun nga, yung hindi masyadong magagandang nangyari at magagandang nangyari and best practices that we can perpetuate or absorb in the next projects as well. Next is yung actions taken. So this indicate key remedial measures taken from time when the issue was reported until the end of the reporting period. So we include corresponding status of actions taken as of the reporting period, applicable only to issues. This is important, especially for the projects with negative slippage. Okay. So for the last one, the actions to be taken, this indicates specific actions to be carried out by the concerned agencies and stakeholders and corresponding timeline, only applicable to issues as well. So here, I would just like to put emphasis on the declaration of projects with above negative or positive 10 slippage. So long as nasa 10 na po yung kanyang slippage, either negative or positive man yan, we need to declare it. It might be an issue, it might be a good practice kasi sa ating pong Form 3. So yun po yung talagang role ng ating Form 3. Indicator siya kung yung mga nasa threshold natin na 10 ay na project na may 10 slippage ay kailangan i-declare dyan. So those projects with above 10 slippage should be reflected in Form 3. Those projects are readily available naman din dun po sa drop-down box ng Form 3. In the system, users will just add and fill up all the necessary details corresponding to that project with a negative or with a positive 10 slippage. Okay? Okay, this is we're down to our last RPMES input form, which is RPMES input form for the project results. So this form shall provide information on the initial results, outcomes, kaya sinabi po natin initial results, outcomes sa system talaga, available naman din po siya quarterly. Kaya pwede na rin siyang ma-open at pwede na rin pong mag-submit talaga yung mga implementing agencies ng initial results or outcomes nila. Kasi before, um, at the end of the year pa, reporting year, nire-require silang makapag-submit ng mga uh, outcome or mga impact na nangyari, no? But now, I think is this also in compliance with din naman sa ating operational guidelines wherein there are already initial results outcomes derived from the implementing project. Okay? So these results or outcomes should be based po on the indicators in the log frame or yung logical framework. Example, yung for ICC approved projects sa ICC PE Form 6 po siya nakikita. Feasibility studies and project proposal documents. Those are the references. So for projects without log frame, no, means may mga project kasi walang logical framework, the implementing agency or unit may adopt the objectives and results or outcomes indicators or targets of the project or program to which the project contributes or falls under based dun po sa program expenditure classification or PREXI nung ahensya o nung implementer. So again, ang implementing agency nandito, unit, GOCC, LGU, PPMCs, HUCs, SUCs, RLAs that implements the project. Laging yung pong implementer, kung sino yung implementer. Again, this is just the form for input form for project results. This is now the system form 4. So we have 4 fields or components. We skip program project title, same definition lang din. We now proceed sa first one is which is the program projects objectives. So this consists po of the goal and purpose as indicated in the project's log frame, yung ICC Form 6 as mentioned sa feasibility studies or FS as well, project proposal documents. So yun din, ni-reiterate lang dito na pag walang log frame, yun nga, dun po sa PREXI ang ating reference. Next is the results indicator or target. So this is the indicators which will measure or indicate in concrete, observable, and objectively verifiable terms to what extent the expected results have been achieved. So this should have quantity, quality, time, area, and beneficiaries dimensions. Yung results natin, yung again, yung SMART principles, we can apply it here in this field, particular field. Next is yung observed results. This is the actual results or outcome or goals derived from the implementation. So cumulative as of end of the reporting period, which may be based on the regular outcome monitoring or completed evaluation studies. So basically, ito pong form for project results natin gearing towards impact eval na rin naman po siya. Pwedeng magamit. Sa ating for us to see yung impact ng ating mga projects and programs. Now, this is the last part of our discussion outline, no? Yung pong summary of RPMES forms comprising yung mga na-discuss na nating apat na forms na input as well as yung output forms. So, for us to just have a wider look, perhaps a bird's eye view of mga pine-prepare po natin concerning project monitoring and evaluation pamula po sa level natin ng yun nga po municipal, pataas sa provincial, pataas po sa region until sa national level. So ayan, basically meron po tayong tatlo, yung apat na na-mention nating input forms uh, sa amin po sa region at sa national. So uh, just to sum up, to synthesize everything that we discussed uh, and to uh, compare it to the other forms of the region and national, during the fourth quarter of each year, all the project monitoring committees shall identify yung po mga initial list of programs and projects for priority monitoring that will be reported for the entire duration of the succeeding year through, ano nga po yan, through input form 1, yung diniscuss natin kanina, yung pinaka-database niya. So, this may be updated within the first quarter of the succeeding year upon receipt of the initial project report or nga pong input form 1 from the implementing agencies which is based on their respective MNE plans for the said year. The new programs or projects shall be added to the said list for inclusion sa atin naman pong RPMES report sa amin po sa region of the PMC starting the reporting quarter, uh, the program project commence, no? So closed, completed progress or projects will be continuously reported until the end of the reporting year and will only be delisted in the first quarter of the succeeding reporting year. So to facilitate yung M&E activities, there are basically two types of forms to be prepared. Yun nga, yung input forms po ninyo in color rusty yellow box. It shall be accomplished by implementing agencies, NGOs, concerned citizens to be submitted to PMCs na nakasunod po sa level ninyo, no? We're just reiterating this. While the output forms naman in color green box are the consolidated monitoring forms prepared by the project monitoring committees to be submitted to the development council sa mga in our case sa regional development council po namin nire-report din po namin yan upon approval ng RPMC namin at upon submission to our NPMC or national PMCs, no? So ayan, isa-isahin lang natin. Kaya po natin tinawag na input forms yung mga binibigay ng mga implementers at output forms naman on our part sa PMC ng region. Ito rin po yung you can deal with this if you find this applicable and you adopt this, yung mga output forms po na ito 5 to 11. Kaya po natin tinawag na input basically kasi yun yung mga ini-input ng mga implementing agency na data that will be processed. Ipaprocess po natin papunta dun sa ating output forms. Kaya output naman po ang tawag dun sa end ng secretariat o ng region. In this case, for example, yung physical and financial accomplishment report, as you can see, RPMES input form 2, parehas lang siya dun sa pagdating sa output form. Nagiging 5, pumupunta lang siya dun sa 5, summarize lang siya, sinasummary lang yun. Process na siya and those data sa forms ay mai-include natin sa ating pong narrative report. Same goes with input form 3 to output form 6, no? Yung report lang din ng project exception report o yun nga, status of projects encountering implementation problems. Now, for output form 7 naman, RPMS form output number 7, yung project inspection report. Ito po yung dala-dala ng mga nag-field monitoring visit. Another pillar of our project monitoring committee entities, yung mag-monitor on ground ng mga nasa data natin. We can use kasi po talaga itong RPMS system para i-verify yung mga sinasubmit at dine-desk monitor natin pagdating natin sa field. At ito po yung Form 7, yung talagang um, uh, accompany natin pag tayo ay nag-field para ma-gather natin yung on-ground information at maibangga po natin dun sa mga nasa uh, information na natin sa system. So dito natin isinusulat lahat and sa huli sinasubmit din po natin siya kasama. And next, during field monitoring visits, in customarily, ang ginagawa na po talaga natin, pag sa exit conference, integrated po yung mga PSS or problem solving sessions or facilitation meeting natin sa exit conferences. Sa last day po ng mga field monitoring visit, especially kapag may mga na-encounter na talagang highly problematic projects na kailangan pong ng intervention. So Form 8 po natin to inilalagay, sinasubmit din natin. Next is output form 9, list of training or workshops conducted, facilitated, attended by the RPMC ng ating pong committee for the entire year na po ito. Form 9 po yan. Ngayon, kapag may mga resolusyon naman na ipinasa ang atin pong RPMC or pwede din yung Regional Development Council mismo, no? RPMC po kasi is an affiliate, I believe, or special committee ng council na may kapangyarihan ding magpasa ng mga resolusyon at pag inaangat sa RDC, pwede din pong may kalakip na resolusyon base sa mga manifestasyon na maibibigay roon sa ating pong mga parliamentary bodies, no? So, yung mga ito, mga resolution na to, ini-indicate po natin sa ating RPMES output form 10 naman. And lastly, sa output form ay yung pong output form 11. These are the key lessons learned, mga best practices na out of the projects or program implementations natin. This is also in relation with the input forms po ng ating pong mga implementing agency na input form 4. We can use that as reference then. Right? So, yun lang naman po. So, sa national naman in color blue, hindi na po tayo masyado magdidil dito. So, meron lang po silang 5 forms. Parang counterpart naman po yan ng mga isasubmit naming forms sa kanila kasi sinasubmit din po nila yan. Ah, that's it. I believe the input and output forms of the project monitoring committees across levels. All right. I think we've already reached the end of this presentation on the required data fields for the Regional Project Monitoring and Evaluation System or RPMES forms. I hope everybody was able to found this session informative and you're able to gain useful insight po sa inyo pong respective PMCs, no? And with that, I thank everyone for lending your time and for your active participation. Looking forward po sa mga insights nyo and kung may mga katanungan kayo later, no? Once again, thank you very much.